Welcome to Inside Design with Kandrak and Cole, hosted by two nationally published Atlanta interior designers, Joann Kandrak and Kelly Cole. These energetic women are also world travelers, charity givers, and bloggers with a wealth of information to share and stories to tell about the interior design world. Okay, now just a warning, this is going to be fun and not too serious. After all, they still do have an interior design business running at full speed.
Hey there, welcome to Inside Design with Kandrak and Cole. Today we're recording episode 113, and it is everything you need to know about the High Point Market with our special guest, Linda Holt. So it's that time of year where we begin our prep to attend the market for the fall show. This market's going to be a little bit different for Kelly and I because we are going to be part of the Insiders Tour, which is organized by the High Point Market Authority in conjunction with Esteem Media. And it's very cool. It's designed to help new designers navigate the market and learn to do it on their own without feeling totally overwhelmed, because it is seriously overwhelming. One of the perks of our tour is we will give you a copy of our list of favorite vendors with the locations by building, and then we also have a list that's in alphabetical order. So anybody that has run into us at market is very jealous of this document because there's some great information on there. So the tour is complimentary for buyers to participate. There's an application that must be filled out to show that you have never attended High Point Market before or have not been to more than one market in the past 2 years. Spots fill up very quickly, so the sooner you apply, the better. The application form must be filled out by October 1st, and there's a maximum number of 15 participants per tour.
So buyers are responsible for their hotel and travel arrangements to High Point, which is normal, and they must be able to attend High Point Market on Saturday, October 16th, which is the day we're doing the tour, from approximately 8:30 until 6. So it's a long, full day, and you get to be with us if you want to. The tour starts off with an orientation breakfast. I think we're starting at Universal. And then we hit the ground running to visit our favorite showrooms, which each tour guide has curated themselves, and that'll include art, lighting, furniture, wall covering, so much more. We will have a special lunch and we'll attend a social event. So between the two of us, we've attended over 50 markets and we have a lot to show you.
So in addition to the tour, we'll be leading 4 other designers will be leading similar tours. They are Jeannie Chung of Cozy Stylish Chic from California, Jana Platina Phipps, she's known as the Trim Queen, she's from New York, Laura Thurman is from Nashville, and Linda Holt from Massachusetts, who's our guest today to talk more about this. Linda was a previous guest on episode number 78, where she shared her photography tips and tricks to take your cell phone photos to the next level. It is truly one of my favorite episodes, and we learned so much. Linda has been a past tour guide. She's a designer in Massachusetts and is here to talk more about it.
So before we get into our conversation with Linda, we want to let you know that this episode of Inside Design is sponsored by none other than the High Point Market Authority. The High Point Market, as you guys probably know from listening to us, is the official organizer of the High Point Market in North Carolina, featuring an extensive selection of exhibitors spanning every category, style, price point, and attracting tens of thousands of visitors from more than 100 countries twice a year. That always impresses me every time I say it out loud. High Point is the driving force of the home furnishings industry, and we're always so honored to be an integral part of that market. So follow them, highpointmarket.org, or you can always tune in to hashtag HPMKT, High Point Market, on all the social media platforms. So if you're in the trade, we hope you've registered for the fall show. It runs October 16th through the 20th. Get your hotel and airport information now. You can do it on Plan Your Trip on the highpointmarket.org site. Their site is super helpful. And register early and make reservations, as it is so tough to get them at the last minute. So that's all the housekeeping we have to tell you today.
Now to the good stuff. Welcome, Linda.
Hi, Linda.
Hi, thank you so much, ladies. I am so honored to be, I guess, a second time on your podcast.
I know.
So,
that's a big deal.
Yeah.
I love to hear your voice because we haven't seen you in person in so long.
I know. But we'll see each other in High Point in October.
So excited.
I'm very forward to that.
Yeah.
So this is the first time Kelly and I are doing this Insiders Tour, but you are a seasoned tour guide. So give us the scoop. Like, tell us what people can expect and like what you experienced and just your thoughts.
Well, it's so much fun, and honestly, I wish that they had something like this the first time I went, because it was comical the first time I went, which I think was in 2014. I went with a friend. We had no idea what we were getting into, and when you say overwhelming, we ended up in the basement of a building trying to make a connection to another building so we wouldn't have to walk in the rain. We spent, I'd say, 80% of our trip down there saying, where's that building? How do we do that? We asked everyone and we were lost in buildings. So after that, I'm like, okay, we finally obviously figured it out. But for first-time buyers, it is the best thing going. With any of the tour guides, we all are experienced. We know market now, and we can kind of give them the lay of the land. So if nothing else, by the time they're done on Saturday, everyone will feel calmer about the rest of their time there. So that's the best thing about it. But also just the connections everybody made. Now, when I did it the last time, it'll be actually 2 years ago this October, a lot of people had come by themselves, and that's kind of scary and even more intimidating. They made friends and connections. They teamed up to spend, the rest of the days or, how long they were going to be there with people they had made connections with. It was a blast. That's all I can say. It was just so much fun.
It always still surprises me when, especially clients say, well, I could just run up to Dalton, or I'll just run up to High Point and, go quote unquote shopping. It's like, no, honey, you don't go shopping and you have no idea. You will seriously be lost within 3 seconds. So,
well, you can go and you could waste so much time getting from point A to point B, or you got lost. This is why Kelly and I have come up with this list. And so it's our favorite vendors. We keep that in one area. Then if there's new ones we want to see, we put that somewhere else. But if we do it by building, so for example, there's the International Home Furnishing Center is the main big building, and there's several people in there. But then there's these wings, the design wing, the commerce wing. And so you could waste so much time.
Yeah, you can.
So I think being able to take these people around and them not wasting time, what they can get done in one day would probably take them 4 days. Seriously.
Right. It's so true. And that building, you could literally, even if you knew where you were going, you could spend the entire day in that building and not see all the showrooms. There's so many. And with the wings, that's where we got lost. We were trying to get from one wing to another, and somehow we ended up in a basement. I mean, it was just crazy. And it's so frustrating because your time is so limited there. And of course, we way overestimated how many showrooms we'd see in a day, because we just wrote a list of where we wanted to go, not knowing how far they all were from one another. And we were running around like, well, we were like, oh, that one, we'd like run to a second showroom to find out that the third one on our list was back where the first one was, which was like 5 shuttle stops away. And so, the
I think
are great.
I think the networking that you're talking about is really, really important, because think about it. If you're in a group with, 14 other people and you kind of click with one or two of them, then you stay in touch and you can and then you can like bounce things off of each other. I mean, Kelly and I are partners. But the groups that you form and the friends that you make, you learn from them. Well, then
the next market, you go with that person and you share a hotel room, and then all of a sudden it becomes less expensive and more fun and, all that good stuff. So
exactly.
After your last tour, Linda, what was some of the feedback that you got from the people on your tour?
Oh, people loved it. What they loved was that, again, and I do something similar to you guys. I don't have probably the comprehensive list by building, but I have a list of probably my 30, must-sees before you leave market. And it's just kind of a wide range. So they loved having that, although many of them have done their homework, so they kind of know they want to see the vendors that they use in their business. But I think what everyone unanimously said was that they had a lot of stress before they went down. They felt no stress at the end of the day. They understood how market worked. They understood the lay of the land, and they made friends. And so everyone felt, what a nice introduction to your first trip to market.
Yeah. Joann and I are going to San Miguel de Allende in Mexico in November, and we're going with 2 other designer friends that we met at a conference. And we were talking as a group, and I was like, you know what? We need to do the walking tour like the very first day we get there so that we know the lay of the land, because then we'll know kind of where we're going and what we're doing. We'll understand the town a little bit better. And that's kind of what this is. It's just a smart move.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is going to the showrooms is wonderful. You learn a lot. But the social events, the educational things are really good. So it's kind of like Kelly and I will try to fit those in where it's great if there's an afternoon one where you can kind of sit and relax because your feet get really tired. And just a side note, wear the most comfortable shoes you have. It's so great. Now you can get away with wearing tennis shoes with dresses these days. You know, years ago you couldn't do that.
Yep.
But the educational things are really, really good too. There's a few, we'll talk about them in a minute. But the parties, the social events, the educational events are really important to go to too. Just as another side note, last market, Universal sent something out that Kelly Lamb of Rue Magazine was taking slots of time to meet with designers since they were going. Rue Daily is an online publication, and they are now going to print. And so they were wanting to meet new designers, see new portfolios. So we signed up for the slot. We went to Universal. We spent 15 minutes talking with her. You know, it was something that we just had, all right, let's just take this time out of our day. It was kind of early.
I was so nervous to meet her. And she was the nicest
She was so nice.
girl.
So we sat, showed her our
That's
portfolio, spent a few minutes, and we just had a feature in Rue Daily on a kitchen that we had just done. So make those connections and talk to people.
It pays off for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I think every time when I leave, I feel like I didn't get enough of that. And I said, someday I'm just going to go down to High Point and just literally schedule all educational events and not even go to the showrooms, or maybe go to one or two, because there's so much they offer. And you could literally just go from educational event to social event to educational, and that would be a whole different experience. But they really go all out on those events. So
They
I
really,
agree.
really
take
do.
advantage of what you can.
I think that's a great point. I've thought about that too, Linda, where it would just be fun to just go, you know, like do all the educational and social, because I get totally like, my mind just gets tired from looking at product and taking it all in and being taught by the reps and talking furniture and lighting. And it's nice to just go and sit in the very comfortable High Point theater and get a good laugh from
Tom
Darcy
Felicia and
Presley
Carson
Tom
Presley.
Felicia, or get inspired by a great panel discussion, and just take a load off. And
I think High Point does a really good job of that. They try
do.
to make it, well, they didn't have it last time, but they're having.
I missed it during COVID.
They're
during the
having
last
their
two.
concerts.
Yes.
Okay. A few years back. Oh boy, if anybody would have seen us, Casey and the Sunshine Band, I don't even know what year that was. Kelly and I just made our way up to the front and had so much fun. So,
oh my God.
Now High Point has a new baseball stadium, and that is where the event is going to take place.
It was in the baseball.
Oh, I didn't realize that either.
So it's not in the middle.
No,
by HFC.
they have the
That's
So
so cool.
it's free for market goers.
Wow.
And I don't know who these people are, but I'm going to check it out. They're called Fitz and the Tantrums.
Okay.
So I have to Google them and see what they're all about. But I'm
Generally,
sure
the
it's
music
just
is
another
really good.
way. Yeah, it's just another way to like unwind
Release.
after a really long day. So I'm kind of looking forward to that.
It is. And
Yeah.
last time I did it, we were exhausted, as everybody is, by 3:00. We went into the theater there, IHFC building, that theater, sat down in a cool, air-conditioned, dark studio, and listened to Diane Keaton. Listen to her, and it was just fabulous. Everyone really enjoyed that. She was so funny. We had such a wonderful time.
Did Diane write the book, The House That Pinterest Built? Is that her?
Yes, and that was
Okay.
really interesting to hear that story. She literally built her house based on photos she pulled off Pinterest.
That's amazing.
I know.
That's fun.
It was.
Yeah. And for me, I mean, I'm not afraid to admit that right around 3, my hips and lower back and feet are screaming. And the
Yeah.
bar carts just surprisingly start to come out around 2 o'clock, 2, 3 o'clock. And
Perks you right up.
Yeah, perks me right up. Just a few glasses of wine or a couple beers, and Joann and I are ready to go all over again. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do because it's a long
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
And I learned that to pace myself because I think the first time I went, you walk into the studios even at 9 a.m. and there's champagne there. I'm like, oh, well, I think I will. Thank you. And by 11 o'clock, I'm like, oh my God, I have to go back and take a nap. Now I've learned to pace myself, and I really don't do the mimosas or whatever's offer until like 3 or 4. I'll probably not at 9 in the morning.
Joann and I are in bed by 9, I think is our usual goal. So we make those dinner reservations early because otherwise we'll be eating at 8:30 and that's not happening. So there's some cool stuff going on since we're talking about the educational social part. So on Sunday, there was one that caught our eye. It's from 10 to 11. It's called Ode to Color. And it's a conversation about textiles, interiors, and with Lori, do you say it Weeder or Whiter? Joann Weeder, and Kim Kiner. And the first 50 attendees will receive a signed copy of Ode to Color. So all attendees are invited to stay afterwards for lunch. Compliments of Hunter Douglas. And we're always on the hunt for where are we going to eat? Because if you plan well, you'll eat free the whole time and you'll eat well.
Yeah. Right. Oh yeah, and the showrooms are so great. That's the other thing. There's always different beverages, and there's sometimes chocolate chip cookies that are very hard to resist when they you smell them throughout the whole showroom, and different people have just little nuts and different things to kind of keep you kind of going. But then this is kind of interesting. On Sunday, this would be a good one because from 3 to 4, you'll be wanting to relax. This is part of their keynote series on entrepreneurism, transforming your passion into business with Miranda Kerr.
Oh, that'll be a good one.
I don't know if you know, she's the international supermodel, and she's an entrepreneur that turned her passion for health and wellness into a company called Cora Organics. It's a highly
I use her Cora facials, her mask and her scrub. I love it. It is
no way. I haven't tried it yet.
It's oh my God, the smell. I don't know if you remember. It brings me back to my teenage years because it has a little bit of that Noxzema smell, but I love
Noxzema.
But it's just the scrub mask is, oh my God, it's divine. I've been using it for about 2 years now. So she's great. She's absolutely great.
Yes, I would really like to see her speak.
And she's got a product line with Universal.
Yes.
She does, yeah.
Mm-hmm. This Cora Organics is sold in over 30 countries.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Well, we're late to the game.
I know. All right, Linda. All you had to say was Noxzema because I
know. Our younger listeners are going, "What's Noxzema?"
I know.
And no, we're going. Oh, if you only knew the smell and the tingle.
So, are there any other events? Is there any events that you're looking forward to?
I'm going to go here. I'd like to go here, and I might even take my group there. I'm trying to decide. The Coco Cozy woman, Colette Shelton, she's doing one about blazing your own trail, and it's about how to become an influencer and turn that into money and connections. And I happen to know 3 or 4 people that are actually signed up for my tour are very interested in becoming influencers. And, so I think that would be interesting for them. And also it's at 3 o'clock in the main theater, right when everyone is kind of fading. We could sit in there. So I'm toying with putting that on my schedule, but I would like to hear her story.
Yeah, that sounds really good, and that would be a nice break right at 3 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. I am looking forward to, on Tuesday in the morning, there's Style Spotters Live. So they're having a breakfast, and the I always say that, spotters from 2021 are going to reveal colors, textures, patterns, everything that they're seeing for the season. We have to RSVP for that one, actually.
Yeah. But see,
I'm always interested in the Style
Spotters. What's so great about that is, of course, nobody can be everywhere all the time. So those people have picked really the best of the best.
Yeah.
So if you couldn't make it into every showroom, and there's always, I feel like there's always 1 or 2 of a showroom we've never been to. And then it's like, oh, great. We've never been there. Let's check this out. So these Style Spotters are really, really good at what they do. And so to be able to that is one that if you are new or even not new, it's really a good one to go to.
How many days are you going for, Linda?
We're going down on Friday and coming back Tuesday morning.
Okay, we're doing the exact
We're
same
doing the
thing.
exact same thing,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
And I think we're
this'll-
going to go to that same style spotter breakfast because to me, it just kind of wraps it up and gives you the overview. And a lot of me, I take a gazillion photos. So when I see what they've seen, I think, oh, it just sort of confirms some of the things that you might have thought in the back of your mind, like what colors you saw a lot of, or what fabrics, like this are all the showrooms showing, and it just kind of wraps it up and cements it in your mind. So that's why I
Yeah.
really like going to that breakfast.
Shay Gear was on our podcast a couple weeks ago, and she kind of gave us some of the things and it was so true. Everything she said, we were like, yeah, the mixed metals, the rattan, just all of the different things that you'll look at. And again, for this market, there's going to be some of that, but there's always something new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it
I
helps
can't
us-
wait. That's the fun part. What is it this time?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that this market, I was surprised, and I think all the manufacturers were surprised for spring how completely crazy it was. It was packed, and I don't think anybody was quite ready for the response. So I have a feeling that October is really going to be, if the COVID numbers don't scare people away, I think October is going to be the best we've seen in a year and a half. For
I
sure.
think you're right.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
did not go to the spring one because it seemed so close to the October one, but probably at least 10 people that I know said, oh, I'm going to wait until October. So I agree with you. I think it's going to be a very successful market.
Yeah, absolutely. So we want to make sure that everybody knows that if you go to the highpointmarket.org website and you click on events, you can see all the social and educational events that are planned. Pick and choose what you like. We always kind of try and map out more than we think because we might have planned on being at 1 at 2 o'clock and then we're at the top of IHFC building and we're
Never
with
gonna
a
make
wrap and we don't get there. So we always kind of plan for more than we need to. But do you come with clients ever, Linda, or do you come with designer friends or?
I come with, there's like 3 of us from Boston that all go
Yeah.
down together every year. No, I would never bring a client.
Us either. I know.
Yes.
We have some that do, and I'm like, wow, you're brave.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. No, I don't. I have no interest in dragging a client around there. And even when I go shopping locally with clients, I have to have just kind of, steel myself for the day because, a million questions and they're just, especially those that are undecided, they want to see everything. They want to go to it's an exhausting day. And bringing them to High Point, oh my gosh, forget it.
Yeah. Well, one of our, we've always said that because we know several designers that have never been. And I just don't know how we could do what we do unless you go to like a design center in a certain place. But to see items in person and to sit on the stuff, there's so many times that we will be in High Point and I've seen something. I was like, wow, that is very cool. And then I go online to look at it and it doesn't really look as good. So that tells me that I'm missing out on something that's in a catalog because I can't really see it as well as it is, or something looks great in the catalog or online and you look at it in person, it's like, I don't like that finish. And then once you've ordered it, so that's what I love to just seeing things in person.
It's so true.
I don't know how, it'd be hard to sell, without doing that.
I'm taking a designer on my tour who's been in business 30 years, has never been to High Point.
That's amazing.
I feel the same way you do. And she's successful. Like I couldn't imagine, ordering something for a client without having at least sat on it, felt what the fabric feels like. I have to see it before I can spec it and recommend it.
I find always interesting when I sit and chat with designers is that a lot of designers buy through their local design centers if they're lucky to have one, like Boston or Chicago, New York. And they don't, which is all good. It's all very good, but they don't have their own accounts. And I think that's one thing that Joann and I have been really successful at is building our relationships with our reps and our manufacturers and opening up wholesale and stocking dealer accounts so that our profit margins are better and we're buying direct. But that took a lot of work. And I'm excited to kind of teach that or share our experiences with the showrooms and why we chose these showrooms and how we opened up the account to be stocking dealers so that we can offer our clients better price and while at the same time making more money.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
and the thing is too, getting to know those reps and visiting them, and kind of keeping whenever you have an issue, it's nice to know that you can call the rep and they know who you are.
That's
Because you've
exactly right.
spent time and they've walked you through, and a lot of times we'll just say, what are your three favorite chairs, and that's valuable information. We have really, really great reps who we can call at any moment. As a matter of fact, we're having so many shipping issues with a certain truck line, and I did some research and found out another one might be better, and I contacted like 5 or 6 of our reps, and they all got back to me that day, and either they had already switched to that or they were changing ours. So, if they didn't know who I was,
Right.
I don't know how long that would have taken to make that change. So I think it's important to know your reps.
Showrooms, like, I shop at the Boston Design Center. Those are great, but they are small little showroom spaces that might have 10% of what you can find at the High Point showrooms. So,
so
just
true.
to see everything rather than going in and seeing, one chair and one sofa and,
Yeah.
it's just, you get to see it all.
And the other thing that I think will help with new designers is, and we talked with Shay about this, is I love to see the space plans that they do in those showrooms.
I do too.
It gives me some good ideas about putting
Yes.
a bench and 2 chairs, and I just love to look at the way that they've laid things out. So it's such a learning experience too.
And
Yeah.
how they accessorize, as a photographer,
yeah, good
I
styling.
love to get all of those photos for social media. I mean, that can feed my social media account for 6 months. It's, I take a lot of photos of the vignettes and of how they style things, and they're beautifully done. So it's ready-made, fodder for Instagram. So that's another reason.
That's
to go.
a good point, girl.
Just to get
Yeah.
Oh,
photos.
yeah.
So if you did not listen to our episode, I think it was number 78 with Linda, she will give you some great tips on how to take great photos.
For sure. So, you guys, if you're listening to this and you're like, I think I'm going to do it, every one of the designers who are leading tours, Jeannie Chong, Jana, Laura Thurman, and of course, Linda and ourselves are all great. Literally, we're friends with all of them. And I don't think there's going to be a single tour that's not fantastic. So I would definitely go and register because we can only take 15 each of us. So go on and sign up at highpointmarket.org. And we're going to wrap up with our quotes.
Okay. Once again, this is not for the young. This is for us older people.
Okay.
This is the funny quote.
Okay.
Your childhood injuries: fell off my bike, fell out of a tree, twisted my ankle. Adult injuries: slept wrong, sat down for too long, sneezed too hard.
Those are great.
Well, if you've had children, that sneezing too hard is a big problem. Yep. Okay. All right. Serious quote. Look at things as though you are seeing them either for the first or the last time. Then your time on earth will be filled with glory. And that's from Betty Smith. I think that's great. I think especially we have a new young employee, and I look at our business through her eyes freshly now, and I see new things about how we operate, and I think that's cool.
Yes. And you, Linda, as a cancer survivor, we're so happy for you. Probably can take that to heart as well.
I try to keep those lessons inside, but life gets busy, but I do every now and then just regroup and say, okay, wait, this is not the end of the world here, especially when crises happen like what's going on now. So your sofa that was supposed to be in September is now going to be in, April of 2022. It's not cancer.
Yep, it is. It's not cancer.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for being with us, Linda. And thank you to the High Point Market Authority for sponsoring this episode. And lastly, if you'd love listening to us, please take a moment to give us a 5-star review and share our podcast with your friends.
We would love that. All right, Linda, we'll see you.
You will. Thank you
2
so
months.
much again. I'm looking so forward to it.
Great to talk to you, and go sign up, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Join Joann and Kelly weekly for a lively conversation about trends, travels to industry events, current design projects, the good, the bad, and the ugly, do's and don'ts, product recommendations, and more. Be sure to follow the fun on Facebook. They're on Instagram at Kandrak-Cole, and of course, you've got to visit them online at kandrak-cole.com for more information.